Hello and welcome to an India Today special. Think about it. It's the turn of the century and you have the most unlikely name to become a major Hindi film star. You're from Bandra, a good old Bandra boy, and yet 2 decades later, you are one of the most bankable stars of the Hindi film industry. The journey of John Abraham is what we're going to be talking about with the man himself. John, welcome.
How are you doing, Rajdeep?
You know, when I say I'm doing well, you're looking younger than ever. What keeps you looking so young? Yeah, how old are you now? Are you going to tell us?
I'm 52.
52, you don't look a day over 21.
Man, thank you.
The genes are the same, the kids are the same.
Yeah.
Still looking as...
it's in my genes.
It's in your genes, Genes or
Genes,
Jeans. But you know, when I said that
Yeah.
the most unlikely star in a way.
Yeah.
I still recall the two of us met sometime in the late 90s, early
25 years ago, right?
25 years ago,
Yeah.
there was some award function, you, me and
Correct.
Leander
Leander.
Pace. I
Correct.
was sandwiched between these two good-looking men.
That made 3 of us.
Not quite. But at that stage, you
Yeah.
were a top model. And
Yeah.
many wondered, would John be able to really make the transition to becoming a film star with a name like John Abraham?
Yeah, so true.
You know,
Yeah.
did you ever have that sense of self-doubt when you made just first time, 2003, I think?
2003.
Did
No,
you
I
ever-
didn't think about it, Rajdeep. At that point of time, it didn't even cross my mind. I had 4 films that failed after that. I still didn't think about it. And then Dhoom happened. And then here I am, sitting in front of you.
It mustn't have been easy to break in. You're not a Nepo kid. You're in
Yeah.
fact just the opposite. Dad
Yeah.
an architect.
Yeah.
Bandra boy as I call you.
Mom, a basketball. She played basketball for India.
Really?
Mom, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how they met, by the way. Very interesting story.
Tell me.
My dad was in the YMCA,
Ah, yeah.
and he overstayed his time in the YMCA, and he saw this pretty girl playing basketball below, and he said she's really cute, and they went out for 5 years, and then she eloped. She ran away from home to get married to him, and then I was born.
Huh. But,
Yeah.
you know, just as that was a sort of strange coincidence, your entering cinema, was that something you'd ever planned on when John Abraham was this model wowing audiences?
Yeah.
Did you ever think that, look, I need to make the transition to cinema? Because it's never been easy.
Yeah.
You can be a very successful model,
And that
but
was the
that
end.
doesn't make you a film star. So
Yeah.
did you plan it at any stage?
Not at all. I took a sabbatical from my job. After I finished my MBA, I was a media planner with an ad agency, Enterprise Nexus.
Ah.
My boss was Mohammed Khan and Rajiv Agarwal. They were my bosses.
I remember Mohammed Khan.
Yeah, so I was directly under him, and I was this blue-eyed boy in a way. And I took a sabbatical to model, and then modeling just went one step up. And I thought after this is over, I'll get back to my work. Till Mahesh Bhatt called me for a film, and then... So I call myself an accidental model because I was a media planner when a model didn't turn up. And I was called in to wear a pair of jeans. And I wore those jeans, and Ashok Salian, a very famous photographer, was then shooting that campaign. And he said, listen, do you want to model? And then contract advertising, there was a girl who came to me and said, I love the way you fill up your jeans. And yeah.
So it is in the genes.
It is in the jeans.
Yeah, but you know, John, that's fascinating because, as I said, John Abraham has made a remarkable journey in cinema over 25 years. I say that honestly, because you've had major hits.
Yeah.
And you've done all genres.
Correct.
You've done
Yeah.
comedy, you've done action thrillers with which you're identified with.
Yeah.
And now you're coming out this Independence Day week with a film called Tehran.
Yeah, geopolitical thriller, yeah.
I mean, Tehran, in the times in which we live, given what's just happened
Yeah.
between Iran and Israel, is rather topical.
Yeah.
And you presumably started shooting a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, it's
This
coming
happens.
out when Iran has just gone into
Yeah.
conflict with Israel.
Yeah.
The film's, in a way, about the Iran-Israel conflict, but
Yeah.
with an Indian connection, a bomb blast.
That
at
happened, yeah.
At the Prime Minister's house.
Correct.
That happened in 2012. Tell us more about John Abraham making the transition to doing these geopolitical films, Diplomat, now Tehran.
Well, I was always interested in geopolitics. My dad used to make me read then the Times of India with Swaminathan Sanklesaria, his editorials.
Really?
Yeah. So I used to read those. So I got interested in the space a long time ago. The film that impacted me was Schindler's List, and for 5 days, 6 days, I didn't understand why the Jews were ostracized, why they were crucified, and what happened. And I said, listen, when I get into films, I'll do a film like this. And I became an actor. Then it was about the body, with jism, means the body. And then I did the Dostanas of the world and had a good time. And I still have a good time doing all those. And then I said, listen, if I become a producer, I'll make the films I really want people to see. I started with Vicky. That was my first film. Then Madras Cafe, Batla House, Parmanu, The Diplomat, Attack, and now Tehran, in a way.
Tell us more about Tehran before I rewind to the past again. I mean, for you to do a film, again, a geopolitical film in the times in which we live, I call it the Trumpian age, an age of chaos.
I was watching you when it went up to the 50% tariffs. I was watching you on screen talking to your two guests. I think Neelkant and
Sajid.
Maxis and Sajid.
My God, you're tracking the news, John. Not too many people track the news so closely.
Yeah, I track what's happening, especially with our friend Trump. Like they say in America, if the US is an adversary, it's dangerous. But when US is your friend, it's fatal.
Now, I was seeing the promo of Tehran, and clearly sort of is a very complex story of this bomb blast that takes place outside the Prime Minister's residence, real life, 2012. An Israeli diplomat is the target. His wife gets burns, and then you are assigned in a way to expose the bad guys in Tehran. Now, all of that, do you believe that Indian audiences want to see these kind of films? Diplomat certainly struck a chord with many people. Do you believe that that's what OTT has done, provided this entirely new audience which wants a different kind of cinema?
Yeah, I don't think this film would have passed to be shown in theatres, to be very honest.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. So on record, I must say, I'm grateful to the Ministry of External Affairs. They had to see the film, ask their relevant questions and pass it. So the fact that it's even got a platform, we're grateful, and I'm thankful to Z for providing us with this platform, which is why I'm speaking to you. So I'm happy it's at least being seen, because Rajdeep had reached a point where it was a double or quits. Do we just shut the film down, or do we show it to people?
Really?
So we decided that, listen, we got an audience, made some cuts, and here we're showing the film.
Of course, it's about the UPA times. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister then, so
Correct.
maybe easier for the government to pass it now, because we've seen films being censored. Udaipur Files has struggled to see the light of day. Other films have also had huge battles with the censor. Are you okay with the idea that there is someone out there overseeing your creative work? Would you just like there to be no censor board or minimal censorship?
I think you need censorship, but the way it's being overseen, could be a big question mark. Till now, they've been good with us, kind with us, and we've also I'll talk about myself. I've been responsible with the way I've made my films, or spoken in my films, because I say this on record, I'm not right-wing, I'm not left-wing, I'm apolitical, I'm politically aware, and it's important for me to make a statement honestly. But for me, what's worrying is when, right-wing films find a huge audience, that's when you ask yourself as a filmmaker, what line am I going to toe? Am I going to toe the commercial line to make so much more money? Or am I going to stay true to what I want to say? So I think I've taken the latter. I've made a choice to take the latter and set things as they are. And in Tehran, this is not a patriotic film. This is, like you said, it was, in 2012, it's not a patriotic film, but you've shown India as they were. And my trailer says it, that India has deserted me.
It's interesting you're saying right-wing films get these huge audiences. We've seen films like Kashmir Files. This year's big hit was Chhawa, around Chhatrapati Shambhaji Maharaj with Aurangzeb as the villain. Are you saying that you're not right-wing, you're not left-wing, you're apolitical? But is there that temptation every now and then, if I want to make a commercial blockbuster today, maybe I need to sort of go with the flow and make a right-wing film with an Indian Muslim as the villain?
No, so I haven't seen Chhawa, so I can't comment on that. I've heard people have loved it. People have also liked Kashmir Files. But what I'm trying to say is that, when films are being made with the intent to sway people in a hyper political atmosphere and they find an audience, that's scary. And to answer your question, no, I've never been tempted. And I'm never going to make those kind of films. Just like I can't make adult comedies. It's difficult for me to produce those kind of films or even act in those kind of films. So it's
But
a choice.
Are you sympathetic to filmmakers who struggle with the censor board?
Yeah,
who,
totally.
who make these films with all their heart and passion, and then eventually find themselves struggling to
Yeah.
get their films across through the censor board.
Yeah, so we've been pulled up a number of times, but there are people in the censor board who do listen as well. So it's important to find the right voice or the right audience there to get your point across. And I believe if they see sense in what you're doing, you'll get through.
You said you're apolitical, but you are making films with political backdrops.
Yeah,
So
most of my films.
So how are you
Yeah.
working that out? Whether it was a Madras cafe, films with political themes are something that you seem to enjoy making.
Yeah, that makes
Even
me-
though you're saying you're
Yeah.
apolitical.
Yeah.
It's just your what makes you choose a particular film?
I think, like for example, Madras Cafe. I always said this. I felt a drop of water fall on my face when I was young, and I opened my eyes and I saw my mom drawing the curtains, and I asked her in Gujarati, because my mom's Irani, Parsi, and I asked her. I said, "Mummy, su thayu, what happened?" And she said, "Rajiv Gandhi was killed last night." And when I saw the images in then the Illustrated Weekly with his lotto shoes, his white kurta, and his face, it impacted me somewhere, and I didn't understand why my family was crying and mourning over the loss of Rajiv Gandhi. And of course, all credit to Shujit Sarkar to make such a beautiful film. And it just came together for us at that point of time. And Madras Cafe was the first film that I was going to make in my production. Vicky Donor happened in the midst of that, and we let that start first. So I know what I'm getting into with my eyes open. Even with Tehran, I knew what I was getting into with my eyes open. But then in management, there's a saying, the higher the risk, the greater the profit. Take the risk. Get a voice. Have a voice. Speak about what you want to speak. And be responsible. I think people see it, people are fair, and people get it.
It's interesting we're talking about these political films in a way, because
Yeah.
when you started all those years ago, and I'm rewinding back, John was seen as the sex symbol. He was
Yeah.
almost the stereotype of the jock. With a name like John Abraham, lives in Bandra, jeans, bike. At best he's going to do biker films like Thran.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to make the transition to this kind of serious cinema? Were you in a way almost burdened by this stereotype of what John Abraham can do
Yeah.
and what he cannot do?
Yeah.
With your kind of body, you got to do thrillers, action films.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't really do political films. Was that a burden for a very long time?
Yeah, it was a monkey on my back. But listen, I'm not apologetic about the body. I mean, I had it in Dostana. 15 years later, I had it in Pathan. Just the color of the shots were different. One was yellow and one was white. So I will definitely do action films. I'll do the big ones. I'd want to do Force. It's probably the most untapped big action film that's waiting to happen. And I'm going to do that. So I will do the big ones. But yes, I think the pressure was more from the media that kept reminding me, hey, listen, it's about the body, it's about the body, it's about the body. And I'm like, no, trust me, I'm going to give you something more. So when I became a producer, the first thing I did was try and change that perception. Because right now, Rajdeep, for me, it's about legacy. It's about what I want to leave behind, what I want to do. I'm not going to do 4 films a year. I'll do 1 film if that's meaningful, and I'll try and make it work. Even if it doesn't, I'm okay.
You want to talk about the body? The reason I'm saying this
Yeah.
is that you also entered Hindi cinema, and at a time when suddenly it wasn't all about the body.
Yeah.
It was you were the chocolate box heroes.
Yeah.
You really genuinely
Yeah.
was someone who had the physical fitness to carry off these kind of action films. Was that something you consciously grew up with as someone who, were you a gymmer right through? Or?
Always, but I'm a marketing person also. So if it was about the body, I'd market the body. And talking about that...
What do you mean by market the body?
I mean, I'd position myself as someone who has a body to show out there. So if it was the Dostana walking out of the water, or if it was the Force, it's fine. I'd just make the most of it.
What do you enjoy the most out of all these films you've done? As I said, you've had
Comedy.
hits you enjoy comedy.
I love comedy.
Why?
I love comedy because I love people coming up to me, smiling and saying, "You made us laugh in Garam Masala. You made us laugh in Desi Boys. You made us laugh in Houseful 2." You know, it's fun, especially children. When children come up to you and say, "Made us laugh," it's really sweet. I remember Mr. Paresh Rawal won't remember this. He got really upset. We were going out somewhere, and he was with me at the airport, and some kid came running up to him and said, "Hey, mujhe hasao." And he's like, "Yeah." So, but I enjoy that space. I love that space, and I think comedy is the toughest genre to do.
And you mentioned Paresh Rawal over this. You've done a lot of these films where you've got some other star with you, bouncing off you, whether it's an Abhishek in Dostana.
Yeah.
Is that also something you're very comfortable with? That do you want the solo starers? Now you're in the age where you're the solo star. I look at Diplomat, I look at Tehran. It's all about John Abraham. But are you okay being part of a ensemble cast? And
absolutely.
You've enjoyed that?
I've enjoyed that. I have a great camaraderie with my male co-stars, which is why in most of my films, my wife dies in the first reel of the film, unfortunately. I don't know why. And there's no romance left in my films. So I think I needed a romantic film also at some point of time. But it's too late in the day, I guess, now.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe do... So everybody who sees me says, John Abraham should do a 50 Shades of Grey. And I'm like, no, not again.
You, as I said, come from a family which had nothing to do with the Hindi film industry. Mom's a Parsi, dad's a
Malayali.
A Malayali. And mixed religions come together. You've also had a marriage which you've kept your personal life relatively under the wraps. In all these years, I haven't heard a controversy in terms of your personal life. Maybe the odd relationship link somewhere in some gossip pages, but
never
very
happened.
rarely. Never happened.
Never.
So, has that also been a conscious choice? Keep my personal life far away from what I do.
That Rajdeep has been a very conscious choice because my films have nothing to do with my personal life. And in all the years, Rajdeep, which I want you to know, I've never had a publicist. I don't have an agent. So I don't have someone who's manufacturing stuff for me out there. So the minute my films are over, I become not newsworthy. And I go into my shell. And I only come out to speak when I have something relevant to talk about.
So what does John Abraham do when he's in that shell? How do you...
I spend all my time with my football team, with my football academy that I'm opening in Shillong. Conrad Sangma has granted me 15 acres of land in Shillong. I'm opening India's finest football academy there for youngsters to come out of there. So we get one Messi or one Ronaldo from this country. That's what I'm doing. And it's in the making as we speak. The rest of the time I spend writing scripts and developing scripts.
Again, as I said, you're a breakout star in that sense, who hasn't followed a particular path.
Correct.
Your wife, Priya, also stays away from the arc-lights.
Totally.
Is that again a conscious decision that the two of you have taken? We don't want to attend these film star parties. We're not into the sort of page 3 paparazzi. I don't see John sort of on Instagram being clicked going to a party. You're not part of Karan Johar's
no, I was never
A-list.
Yeah, I never went to parties even before I got married. So I've always chosen to stay out of that because the music's too loud and I don't drink alcohol. And I have no problem with alcohol because my father loves the single malt. He's a hardcore mallu. He loves the single malt. So I have no problem with it. I can't take the smell of alcohol. So there's no point in me going and standing at a place where I can't speak. I sleep very early, Rajdeep. I sleep at 9:30. I wake up at 4:30. So I think
What do you do? Wake up at 4:30 and do what?
I read scripts. I read as much as I can and I devour the world news, exactly what you know more of. I try and do. So whether it's the Hamas, the Houthi, the Hezbollah, everything, going back to the Abraham Accord, the Balfour Accord, Israel, this, that. I try and read up on everything, but not out of any other thing, but just the interest that I have in this whole space. So whether it's Brazil, whether Brazil willing to hold our hand right now, because they're at 50% with us, or what was happening in Argentina, what's happening in Indonesia, I try and keep myself abreast with whatever's happening in the world, including India.
Producer, can we switch trade places, get John to the news tonight?
I'd love to. I'd love to.
And I can handle his football academy in Shillong.
No, but why don't you do one thing?
If you're looking for a football
You're
manager,
a good-looking man. Why don't
I'm not. Yeah,
why don't you do why don't you do a Diplomat Part 2
Huh.
whilst I handle the news desk for a day?
Yeah, I'm very happy to do that. I'm very, very happy to do that. But, John, I remember
Yeah.
Karan Johar once, you had asked once Karan Johar, why are you so clannish? That there was in one of his, I think it was Coffee with Karan.
Oh,
which
I
you
did
were-
ask him?
That's
Oh,
what my
okay.
researcher said.
Oh,
This was a
okay.
question that was asked by John.
Oh, okay.
Is that John Abraham, do you still feel an outsider
Not
in
at
this
all.
film industry?
Yeah.
Are you still the outsider in a very cliquish, nepotistic film industry?
So I've never felt like the outsider, Rajdeep, to be very honest. And I've never said I'm the outsider. I don't believe in this debate of this nepo and I think it's honestly, done to death. So and Karan incidentally is one of my closest friends. He's a nice guy. We don't work together, but he's a nice guy, always hammered, but he's a good guy and we get along really well. But I've never considered myself an outsider. I'm a part of the industry. I'm a very proud part of the industry. But what I'd like to do is keep making different films. And that's the discouraging part because I just need more support from my studios to make the kind of films I want to make. That I feel bad about.
Interesting, you're talking about legacy all the time. In the early years, one of your legacies was that John Abraham, quite apart from the fitness mantra, made bikes also.
Yeah.
Hugely aspirational. Young Indians wanted to bike because John
Yeah.
Abraham was biking in Dhul.
Yeah.
You've ever seen yourself as a bit of that, as this young Indian, millennial Indian's hero,
Yeah.
and therefore the temptation always is that I've got to go back to doing that kind of cinema as well.
Yeah, but I am doing a film on motorcycle racing, but in the space of a film called Rush. It's a true story set in the Isle of Man, which is a small island between Ireland and England, and a race that happens there called the Isle of Man TT. So I am getting back to motorcycle racing, but my film is more in pursuit of happiness. It's very cerebral, but it has motorcycle racing in it. So I want to get back to that space.
You want to be Desi boy, you want to go global. I keep hearing these legacy stars also talking about how they want to bridge the divide between India and Hollywood. You've ever thought of that? You've got Hollywood looks, my friend.
Yeah. No, I've been offered films
Really?
from there, but obviously I don't talk about them. I want to be a Desi boy going global. So in the sense, I want to make my films in India go international, and Tehran is actually one of them. It's a 1 hour 49-minute film, and there's 50 odd minutes of Farsi in it. There's Hebrew in it. I learned the language for 6 months. So it's a very different kind of a film, and I think we're capable of going international.
Most of your films, though, are very, if I may say so, male-centric. It's either you and
Yeah.
your co-star who's also a strong male actor, whether it's an Akshay or a Abhishek and,
Yeah.
and the others that you've done films with. You ever thought of doing a film with a stronger sort of woman lead, maybe producing one such film?
Yeah.
Is there a woman co-star that you've been most comfortable with?
Not in recent times, Rajdeep. I can't think of a name that I would want to work with. But yeah, if you ask me, do I want to work with more female co-stars as co-stars and producers? Yes, the answer is yes, because they're very enterprising. The new lot is fantastic.
But is there still a gender disparity somewhere in Hindi cinema where it's still the focus is on the big male actors, or has OTT changed that world as well? That you're now getting women-centric themes more and more, or is it still a very much a macho male-dominated industry?
It isn't as much a macho male-dominated industry as it used to be. The lines have been blurred a lot, to a large extent, and that's really encouraging.
You know, John, you're sounding to me like a guy who's very well at complete peace with himself
Yeah.
at the moment, very happy in your
Yeah.
own skin. But surely there must be some little kida out there, something that is still driving you
Yeah.
after all these years in
Yeah.
the film industry. You're saying you're going to do just one film a year or just a couple of films a
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
But is there something that you want to do, that you want to sort of once again tell the world, look, don't define John Abraham again only by the genes and the body?
Yeah, I mean, I always want to do something different. I want to. Let me put it this way: my career has been built on my failures and not on my successes.
Really?
Yeah. Water was a film that went to the Academy Awards for the best foreign film. Didn't run a show in this country. No Smoking is probably one of my most favorite films. I'm a big fan of Kafka, so it was an alternate reality. No one could get a hang of it. I think it's the only film where the critics walked out. And Kabul Express saw limited success, The Diplomat, my studio had no faith in the film. Madras Cafe, my studio head said this film's going to fail, but he went to collect the national awards at the end of the day. So my career has been built on my failures and on skepticism. And I work in that space, and I work very well in that space. So I wait for people to say and tell me, hey, John, you can't do it. Hey, John, you're not worth it. That's what drives me.
How do you and Priya relax?
I think we've got Bailey and Sia in the house, our two little pups. And my calling in life is animals, Rajdeep. I love animals. So if you ask me, if there's one thing I want to do in life is, and I think Mr. Ratan Tata did it to some extent, and God bless his soul, but I would want to take that further, and I would want animals to have a voice in this country. And I said it once in a podcast, and people were like, wow, why did you say this? I made a statement saying women, children and animals are not safe in this country. And I said, anybody you can have a debate with me on that and say they're safe, I'll give up this career.
You know, it's interesting. Animal welfare, promoting football in Shillong,
Yeah.
plus the films you do. As we wind up, I find it interesting you're doing Tehran in the week of Independence Day release.
Yeah.
There seems to be also an attempt by John Abraham to wear the flag, to do these patriotic films in some form, films that are
Yeah.
identified with
Yeah.
with patriotism as John Abraham understands it. How do you define your patriotism? You said you're not a political person in terms of being right or
Yeah.
left. What does patriotism mean to John Abraham?
I don't wear patriotism on my sleeve. I'm not jingoistic. I am patriotic. I'm not jingoistic. I have a love affair with my country, secret, beautiful love affair with this beautiful place called India. And I try and get as much as I can through my films. And my films aren't necessarily, chest beating, jingoistic films. And I wouldn't do those. But my films do attempt to show the younger audience that we live in a country that is cool, that is the future, and I have hope in this country. I have hope that we're a democracy. I have hope that we'll go on, and I just hope for the best for this country.
That's where I started off. That with a name like John Abraham, Dilip Kumar had to change his name
Yeah.
from Yusuf
Yeah.
Khan to become Dilip
Yeah.
Kumar. And we've had the last 2 or 3 decades where your top stars have all been Khans.
Yeah.
Salman, Shah Rukh and Amir,
Yeah.
and a John Abraham. So in a way, Hindi
Yeah.
cinema does what perhaps society needs to do, which is be far more accommodative
Secular,
and
yeah.
inclusive and secular.
Yeah.
That you
Yeah.
don't differentiate between majority and minority.
Correct, yeah.
Cinema does that.
Yeah, and I'm the best example. I'm the best living example here that's so happy and surviving, and not even surviving in the best possible way. I love this space.
Your look is, is this your new film look as well?
Yeah.
What are you doing now? What role are you going to play?
I'm playing the role of. I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
You don't have to speak about the film.
It's
What's
on-
this
it's-
mustachioed role?
Rakesh Maria,
Oh, wow.
the ex-commissioner.
You're playing the
of-
ex-commissioner of Mumbai, Rakesh Maria.
Yeah.
That's a rather smart-looking Rakesh Maria, I must say. It's going to be good fun to watch
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah.
But John, more power to you.
Thank you.
Great to see that you're still going on strong as ever. More than almost a quarter century
Yeah,
now.
25 years since I started modeling. Yeah.
You gotta
26 years.
You
yeah.
got to have a celebration for that.
Yeah, man. It'll be fun. I'll have it with you on the
Please.
next cover. You, me, and Leander again.
You, me, and Leander again. We won't go down the route of what Leander and John have done, and I haven't been able to do in life. And that's a very long list. But John Abraham, good to see you. The genes are still looking sharp. So are the kids, and so is the body. So
Thank
keep
you.
going, and
Thank you.
may Tehran and all your films achieve much success.
Yeah, and you're looking good, and wish you good health. Yeah.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
remember, if you're looking for a news anchor who'll lift your
Yeah.
TRPs, you've got the man here, John Abraham.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
John.
Thank you.